Hi everyone, and welcome to my tutorial on how to prep wood to be painted. This is a step that I do not skip if I want to paint on any wood surface. There are a few different ways to go about this, but I will show you my preferred methods. Now before I go into the materials and the process, I want to show you why I seal the wood before painting. On this wood panel, the left side is primed with 4 coats of clear gesso and the right side is unprimed and bare. When I first started painting on wood with acrylic, I skipped the priming process and my paintings weren't turning out quite the way I wanted them to. I thought they were sort of dull and dirty looking. And that's because bare wood is a porous surface, like a sponge, and it will soak up the paint you apply to it. So here you can see the color bleeds right into the unsealed side. When I finally did start sealing my wood panels, I wished I had started the practice sooner. With my own artwork, I start with a lot of light washes and build up in layers. On the sealed side, a light wash may appear a bit patchy, but after about 3 more layers, the color solidifies. On the unsealed side, the washes sink right into the wood. I also really love line work in my paintings, and a sealed piece of wood will display line work cleanly. The result I get from a primed wood panel meets my expectations of how I want to display my artwork. I want it to be crisp, clean, and vibrant. So that's why I seal my wood panels before painting. Let's get into the process, and for links to where you can purchase materials, check the description of this video. Let's start with the wood materials. My current favorites are these ampersand basswood panels I get at Art Supply Warehouse. They're super smooth and the grain is just beautiful. I also like that they're FSC certified and made from sustainable wood materials. You can also find similar panels at Blick's. These start at about $4. Both of these decoratively cut pieces are from Michael's craft stores. If you are just starting out painting on wood, I highly recommend practicing on these, as a lot of them start under $1. All of the wood I purchase is unprimed. Here are the other materials I use. Liquitex Clear Gesso. I like using clear gesso because it allows for the natural wood grain to shine through. I also use a large brush for removing excess dust, a cheap foam brush or another clean paintbrush for gesso application, and a light grain sandpaper. You should be able to find all of these at your local art store or online. Okay, let's move on to the process now. Step 1 is to sand the surface until it's smooth. A lot of these panels are already smooth, but I always sand for good measure. For these decorative wood pieces, the sides can be rough sometimes, so make sure to sand these down too. Be cautious of these sides, sand slowly, and wear gloves if you need to. I've gotten some really bad splinters from them before. Step 2 is to brush excess dust off the panels. You want to apply gesso to a clean surface. Step 3 is applying a layer of gesso. You can use a foam brush or a regular paintbrush. Both work well. I apply the gesso directly to the surface, making sure that my last few strokes are going neatly with the grain of the wood. Be sure to pick out any lint, fibers, or hair that may find its way into your drying gesso. Step 4 is to let that layer dry for about 20 minutes or until it isn't wet or cold to the touch. Step 5 really isn't necessary, but it's a habit of mine. I will very lightly sand in between layers because gesso has a bit of a gritty texture to it. I like my surfaces to be smooth. Step 6 is to apply another layer. I repeat this process until I have at least 4 layers. For these panels, I applied 6 layers. Step 7 is to lightly sand the last layer until it's smooth. I go by feeling on this and make sure that my surface feels consistent all the way around. Step 8 is to let those wood panels dry for at least 24 hours. Then, they're all good to start painting on. That's it. Here are some extra tips. Sometimes I'll get my primed wood piles mixed up with wood I've yet to prime, and because I apply clear gesso, it's a little difficult to tell which is which. To distinguish which is a primed wood panel, I will lightly scratch the surface with my nail. If I can clearly see a scratch, it has been primed. Another tip I have is if you aren't liking how some fresh paint strokes are turning out, you can erase them if you act quickly. Apply a bit of water and gently brush away the strokes. Then you can wipe it all away with a paper towel. I must stress, only do this if your previous layers below are completely dry, or else you will erase those too. And that's it for how I prep my wood panels. I hope this video was helpful to you and gives you the confidence to experiment painting on a new surface. Thanks for watching and happy painting, everyone!